All right, guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today, we're gonna be talking about a city that has a special place in my heart, we'll call it, which is Mountain Home, Idaho. So let's go ahead and dive into, is Mountain Home, Idaho a good place to live? This is probably for those of you that are PCSing or looking to move out of Boise to a quieter, smaller town. So make sure you guys stay tuned because we're gonna go in depth as far as some of the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, and everything that has to do with Mountain Home. So let's get into the content. All right, guys, so welcome to the YouTube channel. Like I said, if you guys haven't made it here before, you just found the best YouTube channel in the state of Idaho. So make sure you guys press the subscribe button, leave a comment of where you're watching from. Make sure you guys press the bell at the top of the screen so you guys get notified when we post more videos just like this on a weekly basis. So first, to kick it off, where is Mountain Home, Idaho in correlation to Boise? So Mountain Home is about a 40-minute drive, depending on where you live in Mountain Home, up to probably 50 minutes tops from Boise. So when you're looking at a map or you enter it into Google Maps, that's about anywhere between 40 to 50 minutes tops from Mountain Home to Boise. Now, there isn't usually traffic unless you're going the same way as everyone else. So what I mean by that is if you're military or if you're just driving to Mountain Home for work from Boise, typically the traffic leaves from Boise around 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. They start heading to Mountain Home, and then vice versa the other way from Mountain Home to Boise around that 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock time frame. So that's usually when I-84, which is the interstate you'll travel between Mountain Home and Boise, are a little busy. But like I said, you're probably not gonna be on that interstate more than 45 to 50 minutes tops. Now, I do wanna put a disclaimer in there real quick. During the winter, right, this is something to consider if you're moving to Mountain Home and you're wanting to live in Boise. It is a little bit tough if you do decide to go that way. All right, so now that you guys kind of know where it's at, let's kind of talk about some of the things you should know about Mountain Home. So Mountain Home is not a big city. It is not like Boise, which even Boise is a smaller city compared to like Denver, Seattle, things of that nature, right? So Mountain Home is more so a rural area, so it's not even suburbs, I wouldn't consider it, and it's kind of in the outskirts of a lot of areas. So you have a population of about 16,000 and growing. As far as the 2023 results, it was over 16,000 people, but it is continuously growing. They are building homes. There is a lack of inventory. Full transparency, if all the houses in Mountain Home were to sell, we probably have about a month and a half of inventory tops, which is a very common problem. Now, I will say inventory is getting a lot better. A couple months ago, we only had 40 houses on the market, and now, and just so you guys know, we're talking single family, but now we're looking more in the numbers of 70 plus homes sitting on the market. So with that being said, real quick, I do want to let you guys know I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Idaho, and I would love to help you guys with your home buying needs as much as I love making these videos. So what you're going to see is my phone number popping up on the screen, as well as my email. Preferably use my phone number to reach out to me, but if you shoot me an email, I will make sure that I respond to you guys as soon as possible, so that way we can start making a tailored plan as you get ready to move this way. Now, with it being a population of 16,000 people plus, it's probably closer to 18,000 now. It is considered a very small town. You're not going to see any traffic in Mountain Home. You're not going to see, 100 things to do during the weekends. It's kind of like one of those areas where it's a lot more quiet. There's not a lot going on as far as like crime, or there's not a lot going on as far as things in the news. It's more so just a lot of community events. It's a very close-knit town. A lot of people know a lot of people, right? Now, it's not one of those towns where you're like, oh, Mountain Home, stay away from there, right? So just to be honest with you guys, it is just a very quiet, small town. And personally, I lived there for over 7 years. And originally when I got there, which is probably similar to a lot of you guys, I got there on active duty orders, right? So that was my first duty station. I tried to leave because I was 18, young, dumb, trying to go have fun, right? Man, Mountain Home just grows on you. You just find a lot of closure as far as the peace that it offers you. There's a Walmart, there's a bargain market, and there's an Albertsons, and there's not much more than that as far as like groceries. And then as far as shopping, you would pretty much do that at Walmart. So there's no malls or anything substantial in Mountain Home. It's literally just a small town. Now, where a lot of people get their joy is typically by traveling to Boise on the weekends, right? Because Boise is the city, right? You have over 200,000 people living in Boise. So you have all the malls, you have all the outlets, you have all the movie theaters and all those things that Mountain Home may be missing. But it's just a short trip away, and it truly doesn't feel like an hour drive. Now, sometimes it can get a little hot in the car, right? It gets hot in the summer, and if your AC isn't working, yeah, that's a long trip. But if you're more casual and you have if you're not visiting as much and you're okay with a little travel time, then it's not too bad. Now, so what are some of the other things that you can expect? Well, we're gonna show you guys a quick video just driving around Mountain Home, what it kind of looks like, because it's hard to hop on Google Maps and see everything, right? You kind of want to drive through it, you kind of want to see it, and I feel like this is a good video for you guys. So let's go ahead and run the tape. Like I said, Mountain Home is a small town. There's not a lot to look at, full transparency. Now, I will say this, when I first got there, probably grown about another quarter. So we just got the Taco Bell there, which is absolutely insane because there was 100 people in line at Taco Bell, which I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, people literally got in line because they wanted to destroy their stomachs because Taco Bell was new on the block. You have your typical franchise McDonald's, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Subways, and then you have a couple of local restaurants. So Mountain Home is huge on supporting local folks. You'll always see in the Facebook groups, there's a ton of Mountain Home Facebook groups, which I actually run one for those of you looking to purchase a home or sell a home in Mountain Home as well. So if you need that, make sure you guys reach out to me so I can get that to you. But there's just a lot of local support as far as the community goes within Mountain Home for those mom and pop shops like Stoney's, or there's Curly's Bar, or they even have another bar that a lot of people love, which is called Stockyard, where people go play pool on the weekends, go catch a beer, Coors Light, whatever you're into as far as drinking and things of that nature. Or if you're not into that, then a lot of people just like to stay home and enjoy the peace and quality time with their families. So it's just very small, friendly, and I just can't stop emphasizing how small Mountain Home is. I don't ever want to lead you guys on that there's 16,000 people and it's just this big, glorious city that you can live in and do 100,000 things. I will say, to its location advantage, you are very close to some amazing areas. One of those being the Bruno Sand Dunes, which is absolutely amazing. It's a state park. It's actually the biggest sand dunes in the state of Idaho, or actually I believe in the country. Don't quote me on that. I want to verify that before we start saying that, where you can actually go and enjoy sand dunes and go sand sled or things of that nature during the summer. Now I will say it's pretty damn hot, so it's probably better to go around the winter time just so you don't pass out trying to make it up the hill. But that's really awesome. And then they also have a couple of areas where you can take your boats out, like CJ Strike. Absolutely amazing. A lot of the military community or people that live in Mountain Home tend to go ahead to CJ Strike and fish and jet ski and ride their boats, and it's just a good time. So location is a huge plus because it's just in the middle of everything. And I will say, to add to it, a lot of cities from Boise and Twin Falls, which both surround it, are starting to build closer and closer to Mountain Home, and it's just kind of that perfect in the middle. So there's a lot of things as far as growth coming to Mountain Home, which is awesome. It means that as far as cost of living, you're really getting in at the ground floor right now. Now, obviously this is before COVID and all that stuff. It was even much more cheaper, but with times and where they're at, when you're looking at Boise, which has a median price point now of around 600K, the real estate market in Mountain Home is a lot cheaper. The price point in Mountain Home is around 350K, which is absolutely amazing, right? So a lot of people also relocate from Boise to Mountain Home because they know that they're getting the best bang for their buck. The cost of living in Mountain Home is substantially cheaper, and whenever they want to do things, they just drive up to Boise. So very, very, very common as far as for people that are wanting to relocate and what they want to do. Or I want to show you guys some of the types of homes that are available to you guys in Mountain Home. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run some tape of the homes now. All right, guys, so those were the 3 top neighborhoods that we showed you a little bit of, and one of those being Silverstone. Silverstone they were built by Hobo Homes, which is a reputable home builder within the state of Idaho, and in Mountain Home, that was actually the last subdivision they built with no HOAs, and it's a semi-custom built, so they're all types of homes. You're gonna see countertops with either quartz or granite or laminate, and they just gotta customize those homes. So every single one of those homes are gonna be different. Floor plans, people absolutely love. They run into some of the 3,000 square feet homes, as well as even some in the 13, 15, 1600 range as well. So depending on what you like or what you're looking for in a home, Silverstone is a very highly desirable and probably the most popular out of all the neighborhoods. Then you also have Morning View, which is another very popular neighborhood. Those were built by CBH. Now I will be honest, CBH goes a little cheaper on the finishes, but you typically get a lot more bang for your buck. And you can afford a lot more house due to the cheaper finishes. And now when I'm saying cheaper finishes, I'm not saying they're absolute garbage homes or anything of that nature. I'm just saying you won't see granite counters unless they actually upgraded it themselves as the homeowners. That's not as common within those homes, and they do build a lot of homes within Mountain Home as well. So pretty much once you've seen those, you've seen them all. So it's kind of like a cookie cutter home thing. So that's those homes, and then the other homes that I personally am a little biased towards, which is the legacy homes. I just absolutely love those. They're all gorgeous. The builder that did them they're all mostly custom homes. I don't remember the builder's name, so I'm not gonna try to attempt and butcher and it sounds stupid on here. But as far as the homes that they built in Legacy Park, I just absolutely love it. One, because it's located very close to the interstate, to where it's about a 35-40 minute drive to Boise. And 2, it's also located right next to Purple Sage, which is another amazing neighborhood, which I would actually love to show you guys. So let's go ahead and check out what the Purple Sage neighborhood looks like as well. So Purple Sage is probably the most expensive neighborhood. It is the most expensive neighborhood in Mountain Home. It's just a lot bigger lots, a lot better finishes. You're gonna see some of the craziest homes in Mountain Home specifically in that neighborhood. So I just wanted to share that with you guys for those of you that may be looking for something with a nicer finish and a little more land and acreage and things of that nature. So that's kind of the housing market in Mountain Home. Now, coming back to Mountain Home itself, you guys have this question right now. Is it a good place to live now, right? Get to the point, Naseem. So let's go ahead and talk about that. As far as, is it a good place to live? I personally had no problems living in Mountain Home. I absolutely loved it. It brought a lot of peace. There wasn't a lot going on. There weren't any times where I felt like if I left my garage open, I was gonna get robbed, all pending, where you live. But it's not even a high crime city or anything of that nature, so you can live comfortably in Mountain Home, in my personal opinion. It's just a good place, especially if you're starting to just establish yourself, or you're just new to the military, you're just coming back from the States, or whew, you guys see that? There's some flies and stuff trying to attack me. Bugs are a real thing in Idaho, just so you know. But I just feel like it's a quiet, calm place and a good place to start. And a lot of people even just stay there forever because they fall in love with the peace and quality of life that they get from Mountain Home. So could it be a good place for you to live? I'm gonna give you some pros and cons real quick, and you can decide with the pros and cons I give you. So pro number 1 is going to be that it is a small town, which means less population. It's a lot more peaceful and quiet. Another pro is going to be low traffic. You shouldn't be late as far as getting to base or getting to appointments unless some crazy thing happens. Typically there's no delays in travel time. The next pro, which is a huge pro in my personal opinion, is going to be that lower cost of living. Like I said, as far as income and things of that nature, it's a lot less expensive to live in Mountain Home versus when you're comparing it to Boise or any of the other surrounding cities in that area. So that's just a huge plus. Now, another pro is also going to be that you're in a great location as far as outdoor recreation, right? If you want to make a quick trip to Boise, you can. If you want to make a quick trip to the sand dunes, you can. You want to make a quick trip to CJ Strike, you can do that as well. So location wise, it's in a good spot, and I just feel like that's also a huge plus as well. Now, some of the cons, education wise, you're very limited. So there's not a lot of schools. Pretty much what you have is what you get unless you live in Boise. Another con is going to be that there's not a lot of entertainment activities or amenities, but to that, there is a lot of local community events like Saturday markets and things of that nature. Another con is going to be the weather. Now, this can be a pro and a con for you, but when I talk about the weather specifically with Mountain Home, it is super windy. Absolutely insane how much wind Mountain Home gets. Now, I'm not saying you get tornadoes or anything yet. I haven't seen a tornado in all the years that I've lived here, so you don't have to worry about that. But wind is pretty crazy. Weather, you get super hot weather and you also get super cold weather. So you get 4-season weather in Mountain Home, and it can get pretty severe. So that's also a pro or a con depending on how you look at that. But that pretty much wraps it up as far as pros and cons of living in Mountain Home. So with that being said, you guys kind of can decide if this is going to be the right place for you. If you guys need assistance, once again, I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Idaho. I know Mountain Home like the back of my hand, so I'm more than happy to help you guys as you get ready to relocate, and we can create a game plan for yourself or you and your family as you guys get ready to head this way. So, and with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. And if you didn't already, make sure you guys like this video, leave a comment with any questions you may have about Mountain Home or anything specific about Idaho, and then also turn on that bell so you get all the notifications as far as when we drop our next video. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys on the next one. See ya.